So once again, I've been asked to open up and ask a question. And this question is an interesting one in that I've just talked about this on many videos. And now we're just going to see what comes through from the other side, from the oneness of all, from the oneness of God, and the oneness of us. So let me go ahead and read the question. I tend to put others' emotions and time before my own. At the same time, I want to be in service of others and was wondering if you could help us understand where the line is. Or how can you set boundaries and still be of service? Love is in motion. Love is in balance. When one side of the boat gets filled, it capsizes. The idea of being selfless and without boundaries is the idea of not loving yourself equally with others. It's the equality, it's the balance between love of to and fro, the coming and going, the giving and the taking. You are one with God, as are they. You are equal to the same love. And the way you find your way through this process of dealing and being of service to others is to understand that sometimes being a consequence is the most loving thing you can do. Setting a boundary allows them to then set the crutches down and walk on their own. Being the boundary is the way of being of service. The idea of service and the idea of giving too much of your time and too much of your energy is not about them. It's about you. It's about you not loving yourself enough to set your own boundary for your own self. It's about you stepping into the place of finding love in service. And finding love in service means you have become addicted to the service itself. Becoming addicted to the service itself, you forget that you are one with God as well. You and the person across from you are equal. And you deserve the same love as they deserve. And you can absolutely take a time to say, no, this is not the time. Or, no, I'm not going to do that for you. No. Those are the things that allow people to stand on their own 2 feet, to step up and become the person they should be, rather than looking for you as the drug that they use to make themselves feel better. The concept of service is not about placating someone's supposed needs, but it's about giving what is truly needed, giving what they truly need, the power to step into their individual creative self. They need to come to creation. They need to come to the point of creating their experience, and the most loving thing you can do is let them and give them the reason. Now, often in this regard, people will then go away and find some other drug, some other person to dump their dependence upon. And when they drop their dependence upon the other person, what happens is you become the negative in their life that they are now using them and using their energy to recover from. That is okay. It is okay to be the boundary. It is okay to be the consequence. It is okay to do those things. It is okay to be the boundary, because the boundary itself is loving. The boundary itself is loving to you and to them. And the idea of not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of in that regard is part of the loving flow of energy. It's the thing that makes the boat not capsize. It's the thing that keeps you floating above the mire of the physical world, the traumas and the fears and the anxieties of the physical world. That balance you set where you love yourself equally. It's not about ego. It's not about narcissism. It's about being equal. It's about being equal, and loving yourself and allowing your energy to not be drained is also equal. But the concept of your energy being drained is also a belief, and that belief is associated with being of service and giving of yourself so much. That's a belief, and the reality of it is you don't have to take their beliefs. You don't have to take your own subconscious beliefs. You change your beliefs. You change your present moment beliefs about who and what you are. Your very divinity depends on the fact that you must change your present moment belief about your worth. Your worth. If you're giving all of yourself away, it's because you don't deem yourself as worthy. You don't deem yourself as someone who is also worthy of the love that you give away. people of service tend to burn out quickly if they don't give to themselves as well. If they don't say to themselves, no, this doesn't feel good to me, and so I am not going to go there with you because it doesn't feel healthy to me for me to do that, for me to take that space, for me to step into that place of anxiety and hate and anger and fear, is only because of the fact that you are here throwing that upon me to carry for you, because you yourself will not step into the dynamic role of creator and create a better life. The only way you can truly be of service to those types of people is to be the consequence and show love fully. Show love fully in your life. Your job is not to save the world. Your job is to make your part of the world so bright that people say, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. I want to create the experience that they're having in my own life. I see it works over there. How come it's not working here? And they see how you do it. They ask questions. How are you doing this? How is that happening? And you just tell them how it is and lead them to stepping into the creator role in their own life. Once they step into the creator role, there's no need to set boundaries, because they realize they are responsible for the creation of their life. They are responsible for the outcome of their life. It is not your job to carry them. It is their job to carry themselves. It is their job to come to that divine creative self. There is no one who can change their experience but them. And they will become addicted to the person who makes them feel better, the person who makes them feel like things are getting done for them and they don't have to. They will become lazier because the person's doing it for them. They will become less motivated because the person's doing it for them. They'll become stagnant because the person's doing it for them. They need to step into the creative role of the self. And there's no way this happens without you yourself allowing them to have that experience. You have to allow them to have that experience. You also have to allow yourself to not be taken advantage of, because people will gladly hand off the things they don't like for something that makes them feel better, and handing it off to you is what makes them feel better. That's the very nature of confession in the Catholic Church. They're handing off the stuff, but they don't actually work on the process. They don't actually come to the space of overcoming and doing. They go into a confessional and they hand off all their angst, their anxieties, their fears, their wrongdoings. They hand them off. Then, well, I'm fine now because I've been forgiven. But the reality of it is there is no forgiveness. There is only love in this world. But when you give up your own love of self, you diminish, you fall away, you become weaker. And you must give that love equally to you and to others, because you are all one. And there is not one part that is more important than any other. There is not one part that is more powerful than the whole. And the reality of it is people will struggle and fight and push. And every one of us has the opportunity to step into that experience. Now, you can create the experience of being a martyr. You can create the experience of being the person who gives all of yourself away. You can create that experience, and you are the creator. But if you truly are the creator of your experience, why would you? Why would you step into the role of creating something so unloving for yourself when you think you're doing something loving for them, and in reality you're thinking that they are not growing because they are using you as their drug. They are using you as the opportunity to make themselves feel better. But in reality, they need to create that experience within themselves. They need to find their own doorway to their happiness. They need to find their own doorway to God. And you must realize you must do the same. You must be the one who says, I am not a crutch. I am joyfully living my life, and I am giving good service to people. And when that good service means that I need to be a consequence, I lovingly give good service as well. God says, whatever you ask in my name is granted. He never says if it's good or it's bad for you. He says whatever you ask is granted. And when you ask to be completely of service and forget to ask to say, I love myself too, and I am living a joyful life, I am creating a joyful experience, then you are giving yourself away. And God is lovingly letting you give yourself away, because that is the creation that you are doing. You must acknowledge as a creator that when you become conscious about creation, you create a better world, you create an easier world, you create a more bright world, and the people around you see you creating that world, and then become part of that world, become part of that experience, because they themselves say, well, what do they got? What do I have? How come I'm this way? How come I don't feel like they do? Hey, you, what are you doing? And you say, I'm loving myself, and I'm loving you by being an example of loving myself. And that's the key. Love equally, love in balance, love without tipping the boat. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Well, that was a new one. uh, that was very interesting. So I hope that answered your question, and I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you've subscribed and you like it, you share it, but also comment below it. Let's get this community talking about these topics and spreading this information out far and wide so we can change the world for the better. Thank you.